Hey everybody, I'm Ray, a sentimental man, and I've got my Savinelli Non-Perio, bought from Mike over at Briar Blues, smoking some haunted bookshop. Let's get that lit up and we'll get into what's going on. Good stuff. So, I was having a miserable day today. The old arthritis was really being a jerk. Mr. Arthur is not a very good man. But, watched Let My Cameron Go, and he challenged me to, I guess, the June 6 question thing. And forgive me, I'm very new to all this stuff. So, the VR and all these different things, I'm new. I guess VR is the beard is attacking me. Got beard hair. As a video response and all the other things. Anyway, he challenged me to 6 questions of June. So I'm going to do those. And because I agreed to it, and I like to be a man of my word. So here we go. And this is really cool. I was hoping to avoid this because I knew somebody would challenge me eventually. I was hoping to postpone that. So thanks, buddy. Okay, so first question. Name one blend so horrible you would never buy it again. Smoking a pipe as long as I have, I'm sure with many of you. It's the same with many of you who've had a lot of different horrible tobaccos. One of them, I was in kind of a bind, and I wanted some tobacco, so went to a gas station. Borkum Riff Cherry Cavendish. Huh. That stuff. Oh my gosh. That stuff is so nasty. I am not an aromatic guy. Most aromatics to me, I don't trust the process. I think I think a lot of them are this artificial flavorings going on. So that's why I don't do aromatics. And also, I just don't dig them that much. But Borkum Riff Cherry Cavendish is the most disgusting thing ever. Tastes like cough medicine. It leaves this oily residue in your mouth. You feel like you got kind of your mouth is coated in wax chemically. It screams just. It's like you got I don't know, got cherry flavored Vicks rub and just rubbed it all in your mouth with a little bit of earthy tobacco-ness in the background somewhere. So that is the one blend that I would never, ever, 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 ever buy. And I have 2 packages of it because a buddy of mine's shop went under, and I was the only pipe smoker he knew. So they're sitting there, and they will continue to sit there until I can find a lonely victim to pawn it off on. Okay. On a desert island, I can only have 2 blends. Well, I'm on a desert island, only 2 blends. First one is easy for me, Hearth and Home 10 to Midnight. That is my all-time favorite currently. Um, I have a difficult time smelling, so because of that, my taste is affected. So I need big, bold flavors that last a while. and that just fits the bill. And I believe Russ over at pipeandcigars.com, Russ Olet, I think his last name is. I believe that was his first blend for them. It's a crumble cake, absolutely phenomenal. It's an English Balkan blends. I know there's a little bit of a controversy on how to define those blends. But Hearth and Home, 10 to Midnight, all-time favorite for now. And the second one I had a hard time with because I'm very adventurous when it comes to tobacco. So if I don't like something, I like to keep trying it and keep trying it until I can wrap my mind around it. Unless it's an aromatics, then I try to stay away. I will if offered, and I'm being polite, you know. So I'll do what I got to do. But I wound up settling on an English blend, or what's described as an English blend. To me, it's not really an English blend. Cornell and Dill Billy Bud. It's got cigar leaf in it, and it packs a little bit of a baby punch. I like a little bit of a baby punch. Love the flavor profile of it. And it's a nice change from the subtle sweetness of the 10 to Midnight, the big bold flavors, and the nuance of that tobacco. It goes from all that flavor to something that's more straightforward to me in the Billy Bud, more direct, with no sweetness, and it's got a little bit of that sweet. Well, I say sweet earth. The only reason I'm mentioning sweet earth is because I have a buddy of mine named Mike, cigar guy, aficionado. He hates notes in tobacco, and we've been going on and on about sweet earth. So it might have some sweet earth, Mike. So enjoy that little nugget. Anyway, for me, there's no sweetness. Straightforward, simple. Go get them. But I love it, and I smoke it quite a bit. I'm noticing I got to get used to that, though. It's kind of hard for me to keep a pipe lit doing these videos. I'm used to have different rhythm and different things going on. It's never mind. Anyway, so number 3. 3 blends I've never tried and want to try. Well, I'm similar in the fact to Mike from Briar Blues. I accept things for what they are. I don't go chasing stuff down. I don't go chasing the mythical creatures. I enjoy things that I can get a hold of, that are rare, that are one of a kind. But I'm not going to go hunt them down. So this one, the only one that I can think of is the McClelland Frogmorton. Any of those blends. Just because I've heard so much about it. Outside of that, I really can't give any more. I mean, even that one, I'm not really concerned about chasing it down and finding it, because I know there's always these little hidden nuggets somewhere off in the ether. Yeah, so that was that one. That one's simple. Number 4. 4 pipe smokers I'd wish to smoke a bowl with, dead or alive. You know, this is an interesting question for me, because there's multiple things, but I narrowed them down. And one is Old Man Tom. And none of you guys know Old Man Tom, because he is the guy that got me into pipes in the first place. He is my dad. He was my dad's best friend. I'm sure he's passed on by now. Over in Eunice, New Mexico. I'm sure I'm one of about 10 people in the anywhere that know where Eunice is. Um, it's Mideast New Mexico, and old man Tom, that's what I know him by. He's a funny old timer. We'd sit in the shop, him, me, my dad, and a few other of their friends, and sit there drinking Coors Light for hours, just shooting a bull, busting each other's chops. Just a great time, man. And he was a funny guy. And just weird country humor. He was a tall fella too, super tall. And he was 14 years ago, something like that, 13, 14 years ago. And he already was in his mid 70s. Good fella. I'd love to smoke a bowl with him and try to talk him off some of his pipes. He had over 300 pipes. So he had a few he could probably part with, I'm sure. And now that I know a little bit more, yeah, I'd try to sneak some of those off of him. Number 2. This one would be more of a spiritual journey for me. Sitting Bull. Many of Americans know the story, especially those in the Texas, New Mexico area of the plains. Sitting Bull was one of the most significant indigenous chiefs in American history. He predicted defeat over General Custer, I believe. He was, from everything that I've read, the greatest Lakota Sioux chief in history. Just and one of the last of the great chiefs to give up, to surrender. A powerful man, and I would just love to be in his presence and further understand the indigenous people of North America, further understand what really went on down there, not just what we're fed. And because there's so little, and there's so little allowed to be taught, even now, about the North American indigenous people's culture, their hardships, all that stuff, man. And it would just, that would just be a powerful, powerful time. And, okay. Number 3, Lee Van Cleef, man. Gotta have Lee Van Cleef. You know, the greatest pipe smoker of spaghetti western history. That would be cool, because even outside of the western movies that he did, he always came across as a very powerful presence, an intellectual actor to me. I'm just a movie fan, so I don't know all the other crazy stuff, but to me he strikes me as very intellectual, very powerful, able to emote a lot of emotion without speaking. And that's, to me, one of the great characteristics of a great actor. I'd love to chat with him about how he got his pipes in all these different movies. Were they his? I know the one of the most famous ones, the Meerschaum. I know Sergio Leone got him that pipe before shooting. Went to a local shop and picked it up for him. But the other pipes that he smokes, I'd like to know those stories and what it's like to work in Clint Eastwood and that era, and just pick his brain a little bit. Besides, I mean, he was one of the earliest influences for me as far as pipes. And the fourth one is the earliest, and I've never mentioned this before. It's not surprising because it seems ridiculous, and it's a childhood thing. And this person didn't even really exist. He was a figment of everybody's imagination. It's kind of oddball. And that's something you'll learn from me. I am kind of oddball. You keep watching this, you're going to see some weird stuff probably. And my fourth one is Popeye. I would love, I mean, he's a cartoon, but he's the reason that I love spinach. He was my first introduction into seeing anything smoke pipe. And I would like to hang out with that dude. Try to convince him to get rid of olive oil because she was dirty. She did him dirty. And because she was just trifling. She didn't know what she wanted in life. Popeye deserves better than that. It'd be fun to hang out with Popeye. Oh man, too good. So weird. Okay. Number 5 presenters you would recommend for new pipe smokers. Now this one is so difficult, man. Because everybody has something to offer new pipe smokers. Everybody. Even if you got 5 reviewers, they've got something to offer. They've got something to teach, whether they realize it or not. So, for me, I only came up with 2. And I know a lot of people doing this, they're going to say matches, which is tremendous. I mean, he's one of those guys that affected a lot of people's lives and is very in touch with the sentimental aspects of pipe smoking. But I would only recommend 2 for the basics, and then I'd go from there. And part of that is these 2 I have the most experience with on the YouTube aspect of it. Before I started doing this, I really didn't know of too many others. I thought the piping community was very small and was only introduced to matches later, probably a few months ago, right? And but these 2 that I'm going to recommend, to me, give the strongest foundations to a new smoker and encompass everything. Everything it's about, really, from A to Z, from consumer to the business aspect of it. So my 2 is the big man talked about right now, the absolute legend, Mutton Chop Piper. The man wears his heart on his sleeve, is extremely knowledgeable, extremely passionate, a little bit straightforward, dry sense of humor, and he takes this hobby very seriously because it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. It's a part of who he is. And there's a lot to be said for that. His knowledge on taking care of a pipe, on blends, on pipes, maintenance, everything. A to Z with that guy. Except for on the business end. He's, everything else. The Blend Club is amazing. And I found him, I always have, to be just like the professor, right? He's Professor Mutton Chop. So, great to learn from, great to spend time with. One day, hopefully, I'll get the chance to spend some face-to-face time. Probably won't happen, but here's hoping, kid. All right, the next guy, Briar Blues, Mike from Briar Blues. He's he's a very interesting guy. He is a business guy. He has briarblues.com, so he buys and sells pipes, both pre-smoked estate pipes and new pipes. Mike's one of those guys. Most people like him. Some people don't, and that's the case with everybody, right? But he's a really fun guy. He does Thursday night live streams, and it's really fun to hang out with him. And he's all about having a good time and about community. He's in touch with that aspect in a strong way, and he can walk you through shapes. He just finished posting a series on shapes. Walk you through the step-by-step process of buying a pipe, what the market looks like, how to target your pipes, how to cull your collection. There's a number of aspects, and he's just super entertaining, and all the people that are involved in the community that he's built are they're oddball too. They're a bunch of screwballs, and I love it. That's why I kind of fit in with those guys. So those two I would mainly recommend. Now I gotta relight again because stuff. This is a long video. I'm sorry, guys, but this is kind of a lot. So I'll hopefully finish up within the next couple of minutes. Number 6, Challenge 6 presenters. Now, I've just been introduced to these people, so real recently. So the 2 that I haven't seen anything that's responded to this thing that hasn't been challenged so far that I know of at the time of me recording this. Donald Hughes does a lot of live streams. Funny guy. He's another guy like me that loves hot stuff too. Does a lot of lives. And just recently, I think, made his first pipe. It's pretty cool. Good guy. NC Piper. She is a sweetheart of a young lady that I can tell. And it's a beautiful thing seeing a woman in our industry. And I hope to see a lot more women because they have a perspective that we don't. And it's always good to get a new perspective. Jeffrey Adam Carter, the Renaissance Piper. I think I wrote that down right. I may not have, but either way, I'll get it right in the description below when I put the link. Just noted him. Very intelligent guy, very bright. And does good stuff from what I see. Matt the Irish Piper, very entertaining. Funny as all get out. Doesn't post very often, but when he does, I appreciate it. He is a healthcare worker. He helps take care of the elderly. And that's aces in my book. So I'm challenging you guys. Ray Views and JMZ56. All these guys, great people. If you're not familiar with them, don't know who they are, please sub to them. Yeah, so Donald Hughes, NC Piper, Jeffrey Adam Carter, the Renaissance Piper, Matt the Irish Piper, Ray Views, JMZ56. Get your groove on, man. And I'm going to finish what's left in this bowl. And I will see you guys later. I hope that was adequate. As I said, I'm new to all this stuff. So please have grace. Mr. LetMyCameronGo. Thank you for getting me involved. I appreciate you, bro. Take care. Good stuff coming up. Going to take a break this week from the history. And let you know a little bit more about myself next Saturday. Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. It's going to be iffy. Have a good one. I will see you guys on the next one. And hey, stay sentimental.